Not seniority. Not why not primogeniture? Oh my god, because I need high crown authority. Oh! Here's what I'm gonna do. Seniority. Destroy the Kingdom of Sweden. Problem solved. So the plan on that one is basically, I mean, it'd be nice if I could just recreate the kingdom right away, but obviously I only have small portions. Oh, you know what the problem with that is I've lost all my casus bellis, so that was ill-considered. But I can still make some claims as the Duke. Does that make sense? Oh, but he's of Orkney. I think it's probably better that we just do this the old-fashioned way and take it apart piece by piece. Kill 50 people a day at random until they agree to high crown authority. Yeah. Well, see, the problem is that I needed to get high crown authority approved in this territory, the one that I don't control. So the way I would do that would either be to conquer it, which means they're not going to like me, or, you know, just hope that they come onto my side, which is not very realistic. So the one problem is that the whole reason why I usurped the kingdom was to give myself a whole bunch of CBs, and I obviously can't do that now because the kingdom doesn't exist. The plan is ultimately to create the title again. It will have the laws that I want, and then I will be able to, you know, I think this will probably be the first kingdom that I actually turn into a vassal. The plan is eventually to get myself to a point where I no longer have dukes for vassals, I have kings for vassals. But I've got room for 26. In terms of my laws, I could bring that down to... I mean, I could bring that down to 16 and add 4 more counties to my personal holdings. I don't really necessarily want to do that just because in the end, I've already got all the duchies that I can really hold. But we'll just see if I can get 26 kings beneath me. You know what? How strong are the Muslims? Not strong at all. I think this will be the last battle for the night. Definitely feel like I need to add some territory though, so heathens are always a good way to do it. Oh god, I don't even remember what county I'm fighting for. Tricale? Oh crap, it's the whole... That's fantastic, actually. Now, if only I had a son to give it to. Well, I do have a son to give it to. If I had a second son to give it to. Not enough men for the siege. That is a damn shame. But it doesn't have much as far as troops are concerned, so... Another daughter! Okay, I'm just going with the default one because I want to wrap this up. I have a feeling I brought way too many ships, and it's costing me. Obligate. Okay. Get rid of one and more come up again. Oh wait, but we're gonna lose two, so let's deal with Connaught. Daughters aren't worth our creativity. Alright. Let's disband pretty much this whole thing. So we've got 2,700. I need 38, so... Like, honestly, it's overkill, but... Better than the waste I had before. Get over there and stop wasting money. A scourge arrives, my liege. The great Kagan has dispatched numberless horde of barbarian horsemen against the lands of Central Asia and Eastern Persia. Appearing in bulk, the heathen armies seem intent on conquering the Muslim world. The Mohammedans had it coming. That's fantastic news. I really hope it's Abbasid as well. That would be so utterly fantastic if I didn't have to deal with a 100,000 man army. 86,000 man army. Man, this is, I was going to say, this is going to be the fight I'm looking forward to, is once I have at least Western Europe, this huge clash that's going to happen in the Middle East. This is going to be the stuff of legend. All these centuries and I still miss Grandpa. Man, nobody's going to be like Grandpa. Except the guy, okay, the guy who goes to Armageddon here, that is going to be the reincarnation of Grandpa. When things happen in Abbasid, that is going to be amazing. More military organization is good and all, but I think what I'm probably going to do here is at least finish sieging the province, and then I'll worry about these little groups. Just in the end, they're not going to amount to that much in the war score. I would normally be worried if they had a very large army, but like the sum total of their forces is less than what I currently have in their territories. So I think the best route here is just to try and take as much territory as I can, and if there's an opportunity to take a big stack, I will. But it seems like a bit of a waste of time to try and chase them down across the continent. We need to keep tabs on movements so we can name Art That Soul Grandpa Revived. Alright. my heir, how is he going to learn? Oh, these all suck. Let's get what we can out of this guy. It's not the best tutor, but it'll do. And the siege is taking forever. I am mildly concerned. Yeah, so now they have enough to cause me trouble. I think I need to go hunting after this. I actually probably should go hunting now, but... they are fighting the Teutonic Order, so... Oh, and we've got a bribe in Santiago, so it's a lot of gold that we just spent. I need to make sure that I use that CB before this guy dies, but it'll be nice to have a holy site. Oh, damn it, I didn't want it to go there. Oh well. It's kind of cool that the Holy War is actually applying to the whole duchy. Ah, now this is what I like. Family members usurping titles from people below them. Speaking of which, it's been a while since you've taken a look at the prestige of the house. 41,189. I think it was somewhere around 3,000 when we first looked. Almost broken the castle. I think it's just towns and bishoprics. Well, I guess this is a mosque. It should be fairly easy to take this after the capital, but I definitely want to break up some of these troops because there's this slow trickle and I'm losing quite a few troops to the siege. I also need to keep vassals in mind as well. So I know the Teutonic Order will be there to... Yeah, see, I just lost more to the raids. Yeah, even just, you know, a quick little scout around to deal with any stacks would be... it'll, one, help my war score, but two, it'll make sure they can't pose a credible threat to the invasion. Basically just a quick little scouting party to see what's happening. Normally I'd use ships for this, but ships are really expensive. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, so I mean, they do have a threat, but I think probably what's happening here is the majority of their forces are based in this southern area. So we'll mop up... we'll mop up these. We'll finish on Cambria, Coimbra, and then we'll just we'll go province to province until we get 100 war score. Ah, here we go. 890 troops is what I need. Oh, damn it. Teutons beat me. Alright, we're just going to take territory. That's the fastest way. Now we play the waiting game. Wonder if there's any prisoners I can... Not really. They like me though, so release that one. And Gurley doesn't like me, but also doesn't like their liege, so I don't mind bringing out somebody who will cause problems to my enemies. We just obligated vassal, but I'm actually going to wait until the faction disbands before I do anything. That was Duke of Connaught. Or, well, Count of Connaught. Whatever duchy he holds. Okay, well, I thought sieging the city would be easy, but... I don't know if I should look for doubles or deal with the bigger one. I don't really want lower crown authority, so let's... And look at that mustache. Can't trust that guy. See, I mean, at least we're... I mean, it was a long roundabout way for us to follow through on our Spanish plan. I probably should have thought out Sweden a little bit more, because that was basically just lost prestige, angered vassals, and ultimately slowing down the conquest of that region. We'll still get it, but I just feel like I spent too much and got too little out of that. And I think if I had a little bit more of a coherent strategy, I wouldn't have made that mistake. But that's, I mean, I'm not too bothered by that either, just because in the end, I think, I don't know how to put it. Like, you're only going to learn this stuff one way. At least, you know, the nice advantage of having how do I put it? Like, having an empire that's like this, I don't need to worry so much about, like, there's no, okay, sorry, I'm struggling to say this. Like, there's really no mistake that I can make in this game that is going to be game over. Like, it would require a pretty fantastic series of screw-ups on my part to, like, lose the foothold that I've gotten. Yeah, I might lose some provinces kind of on the continent, right? I'm relatively weak in these locations right now, although I am quickly finishing that, right? Like, I'm going to add another complete duchy to my territory in fairly short order. But when it comes to something like, do I need to worry about, do I need to worry about whether or not the game is going to end with this war? No. Like, nobody's ever going to have a credible threat to England. It would require a pretty fantastic series of events for Abbasid to control so much of the territory that they would actually be able to launch an invasion on Britain and get away with it. So, anyways, there's a talented town crier in Coimbra who seems able to capture the attention of the peasant rabble in an instant with his commanding voice. You have studied his methods and the pitch of his voice closely, and you can expect to do better the next time you have to address a large crowd of people. Hear ye, hear ye. Gain 1 diplomacy. Gaining more than I thought I would. During a mission to try and fabricate a claim to a title of Asturias de Oviedo, my chancellor has been murdered. How terrible. Let's get a new one. Oh, 15. My children dying out could potentially end that, but I always make sure, like, that's just a matter of making sure I don't put myself into any reckless positions if I'm childless. I think there was only really one fear of that in this playthrough. If you play a pagan, you can actually take concubines. But generally you're not too worried about succession in that case. You're more worried about the fact that you have Gavelkind or some equivalent, and that you don't keep your empire when you die. But yeah, I'm not sure, like, after a couple of generations, I'm not quite sure how succession works. Like, if the bloodline's intact, whether or not you still have an heir, or if the fact that you do not have a son, well, in my case, son or daughter, I'm not sure if after a couple of generations it actually has to be a direct descendant from you. Probably important for me to know at some point, but it's not come up, so. I don't know if people are dying or quitting, but I don't like it either way. Spymaster. Wow. Talent pool's really thinned out. In this case, I'm actually going to use the Mayor of Newcastle just because it gives me a chance to have somebody with a higher opinion of me. Or sorry, another person in like green level opinion of me. And let's work on the largest one. This guy looks dead. I'm also really looking forward to getting rid of this title, finally. It's nice we're seeing some factions go away, but not as quickly as I would like. Yep, my goodness. Thank you for the host, my friend. I hope you had a good time in Dying Light. Let me just take a second and see if I can bring this fantastic man's channel up. So, unfortunately, my animation for hosting is not functioning. I believe that's a Twitch alert thing. But Yip is a, I will argue, a fairly new streamer. Akadak. How's it going, guys? We are somewhat close to the end of the evening, but not so much that I'll turn away your companionship for the time that we have. Yeah, I would say Yip counts as a relatively new streamer. He's got a really nice looking channel, and he's actually been doing some really great runs. So I think he started with Dead Island, and he had a stack of 4 people that he was playing with. They went into Riptide, and I believe tonight they were playing Dying Light. And it was... I mean, Dead Island was the majority that I got to watch, and I'm like... I know I speak very highly of the people who I link, and I mean, that's not just because I like them as people. That is part of it, right? You know, generally nice people tend to make nice streamers. But each of the channels that I've recommended, I genuinely have had a very good time there. And in fact, Yip's Dead Island stream, especially watching just the interaction of the 4, he has all 4 players up on cams, which I think is fantastic. Just seeing the interaction and the friendly fire is some of the most fun that I have had in a channel in a very long time. And so Akadak was playing with him, so I should actually give him credit for that as well. And just, yeah, I mean, honestly, as everybody says, I should have been paying attention. This is going to hurt a lot. I think I'm going to need to get the vassals involved. Oh, no. Can we recover it? Let's see. I don't think we can. Alright, well, I'll deal with my misfortunes later. Oh, wait a minute. He's got high decadence, doesn't he? It's possible that they will lose in morale because of their... And I'm defending on hills. Okay, it's possible that I might survive this. But, anyways, I'm sorry to get so sidetracked, but I do want to say, like, I know a lot of people always say you have to see this person and all of that, and I am not going to say anybody is not being genuine when they don't say these things, but it's very easy to become numbed on these things. I do very strongly recommend, with that link, please check out Yip. He is a lot of fun to watch. He also is helping out moderate Seriously Clara's channel. Seriously Clara is obviously a great friend of the streams and the host of Team Panda. So somebody I owe a tremendous debt to as far as support for the stream. But I think one of the special mentions for Yip is that there's just so many people who are involved with this channel to make it a lot better than I could allow it myself. Akakadak, Yip, all of these people. So I think it's if you enjoy being here, part of the reason for that are the people who get involved with Yip's channel. So if you haven't followed him already, definitely consider doing so. Sugartooth is settling in. Alright, well, I'm in trouble now. Not exactly, I just need to bring my vassals in, but I should have been paying attention. I tried to be clever and just get by with a small number. It means I'm gonna have to deal with these factions because my personal army is smaller than what it should be. But the way we handle the vicious barbarians with the curved sword. Whoa! My moodiness and tendency to lash out at people is getting worse. I sleep too little and I can't seem to stop worrying. It's a lot of pressure. I have the trait stressed. Okay, so drop the levy here. We've got a big army here. Don't need people from Iceland. And we'll show these curvy sword heretics how war really works. And not a problem, Akak. Sorry, I know I'm late in replying to that, but not a problem at all. It's I was gonna say you especially make a lot of channels a really great place to hang out with, and I mean it was a great opportunity to get a chance to meet you and interact with you directly. But in fact, I should also mention, I'm not gonna die. Give me a break, Endors. We've been through worse. I spent all this time talking about Yip, but I did actually get a chance to catch Akakadak streaming as well. Now, I understand that work is going to be starting relatively soon for him, so the window of opportunity is starting to close on that stream, but I still think Ak is somebody who is worth taking the time to go and see when you get the opportunity. The last thing I saw him playing was Hotline Miami 2, which I think is a really fun game to watch. Fantastic soundtrack. But I spent so much time talking about Yip's channel being fun because he's in it. If you want to watch a channel that's fun because Akakadak is in it, he has his own. Oh, you met the correct... Yeah, stress definitely is a killer. You can actually tell, so if you ever want to know whether or not your character is going to have trouble surviving, is all of the heart modifiers are the ones that are potentially deadly. Now, 40 isn't as old in the game, so I think he may actually lose stressed before it becomes a problem. But we'll see. Again, I'm more concerned with the infidels. I really wish they had a better system for getting rid of boats, but unfortunately this really inefficient clicking and dragging is the best I can do. Just a Twitch chat guy. It's an absolute pleasure meeting you in person. You stream 3... Yeah, I mean... Just because you've streamed 3 times doesn't mean it's not a lot of fun to watch your channel. Unless you're planning on not streaming again, I definitely think people should be checking it out. I think that's especially in my own part. Thanks for the plug. Yeah, It's unfortunate your work schedule. Yeah, I mean, I think you've probably heard from enough people that consistency is one of the ones that people look for a lot. So it'd be awesome if there's an opportunity to see you every weekend, because I know that's something I would be able to manage and watch myself. But I just think more importantly too, like if I felt there was justice in this world, I wouldn't need to recommend streams that I think are a lot of fun to watch, right? Okay, you know what? 18,000 sounds like enough. They do only have an army of 5,000 people, so the rest of you guys, you don't get to participate. But I was just going to say too, like, it's always very odd to see how people find what they like on Twitch. I know I've had the benefit of just a couple of lucky finds, so if I'm able to recommend stuff that I've really enjoyed watching myself, it just, first of all, it supports it in a sense that I get, I like to think people are more inclined to stream if people show up, right? So it gives people motivation to keep giving that content that I love watching. But, more importantly too, the reason I stream and the reason why I think it's the reason why I like gaming in general, it's a very social activity for me. So having that opportunity to not just share a game with people, but now to be able to share the experience of watching channels that I think do the streaming thing very well. It's something that I enjoy. I like the idea that more people are going to be able to see content like this. So I guess I've justified plugging you enough. Every day you wake up to a text from 3 of your friends. 10 years since Axe stream. Beautiful. Emperor, I'm pleased to report that the majority of the population in Viken have been converted to the Catholic faith. That's wonderful, but weren't you supposed to be researching cultural tech? Strange happenings. Alright. These boats are going away because come back with your shielder on it, damn it. Yeah, absolutely. There's it's kind of funny how some of this stuff just kind of winds up all coming at the right times. But the thesis advisor that I have, again, the really impressive economist, where I can't help it, but when I talk with him, I actually have the problem that I start stuttering and just generally kind of lose my composure when talking with him, just because he's a really smart guy. Just browse games until you find something fun led to a lot of good results for me. I remember, Enders, you came in when I was playing Gods Will Be Watching, I believe. Which is good. Actually, that was a stream where I had a really long period of time where nobody was in there, and it was just shortly after Jesse Quill had kind of said, "It's well, I asked the question, how do you deal with the empty stream problem?" She says, you just keep talking, talk about your day, talk about whatever you want to do. So, but yeah, so my thesis advisor, I was in his office talking about my project, and this was kind of in the early planning stages. Whoa, looks like the Teutons are not sitting back. That's actually going to be a problem for my conquest. Well, okay, it's a benefit and it's a curse. I at least sort of have I got my work cut out for me here. And Hispania is cut in half literally now. So that's going to be an easy takeover, but it's still dumb that I have to like, I'm eventually gonna have to deal with this big gray blah. Anyway. Dude, I'm glad she said that because it was your voice that drew me in. Thanks, Endors. Well, that was a funny thing, too. Like, I very legitimately was quite uncomfortable with my voice for a very long time, so it was very unusual having people compliment me on it for a while, so... Oh, what am I doing? I literally just sent these people to die. I'm not paying attention. Okay, well now they've got enough people to actually cause me some real harm. Let's regroup. Okay, don't regroup, go kill them. Okay, so anyways, we wound up talking about, you know, some things that economists are looking into, topics that are of interest, you know, things I was interested in, things that the field is currently doing research in. And one of the things that we talked about that's a pretty popular topic, doesn't necessarily mean it's always handled well. Nice. It's always good to get a prisoner. But it was this idea of the building and, more importantly, sort of the falling apart of social networks. Fun fact, the voice we hear inside our head is different to the way we intercept the sound. Yeah, I do know that the sound is quite different, but it was more than just kind of the interpretation. Like, both the sound that I hear myself and what I hear in recording just generally didn't quite have the... Like, it didn't have the quality that I thought was very good. But that just means I don't have taste, right? Like, that's not necessarily an indictment of my voice. But yeah, anyways, so this idea of, like, you know, definitely the falling apart of social networks are interesting. So, like, the good example here would be, it's like, okay, so MySpace once upon a time was a thing. It is no longer a thing. How did it fall apart? You know, how did it get popular? How did it fall apart? Is Facebook, is Twitter at that stage? You know, there are some indicators saying that this is possibly the case. Facebook says that it isn't. You know, how do we measure these kinds of things when these kinds of companies are not presenting us these this kind of data? And I mean, it's of intellectual interest to me, but I didn't necessarily really have an appreciation for the dynamics of that. And then now becoming involved in Twitch and just seeing, you know, people who are brand new at streaming, seeing people who've been streaming for a while, but they're clearly on this nice big, like, they're clearly at this tipping point where they're no longer just any free streamer on the site, but there's somebody who it's like, yeah, we're just waiting for the day that they get their partnership button, these kinds of things. And again, like, I know I've mentioned her a couple of times in this, but I think Jessie Quill is a good example of this. Like, this is somebody who I have no doubt one day in the future is going to be somebody that I'm subscribing to, and I'm really looking forward to that day because I think she puts on a really good stream, and I think she's a very kind person, somebody who really deserves it. And it's just really interesting to me, at least, to kind of be inside this world and say, it's like, you know, when somebody is a mod on a channel, when somebody hosts somebody else, these kinds of things, all of these little interactions that go on, that lead to the construction of a channel, that lead to the creation of an online presence. And it's not this weird little Machiavellian kind of, oh, you know, I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. Like, it's not House of Cards, right? It's like, I'm not going to make friends with this influential person and I'm going to, you know, then I'm going to betray them because I want to get that sub button or something like that. Like, these are just genuine connections that are being made. They come through, you know, either a mutual love of a game. They come through, you know, liking somebody's voice, thinking somebody's kind of cute, then hanging in the channel, and it actually turns out that, you know, not only are they easy on the eyes, but they actually put on a really good show. Hell, the number of streamers who just have really awesome beards, which is sufficient for, you know, for clicking on that channel. Let's just see here. Vassilizes. Not a chance. But can it be House of Cards? No. Oh, come on, Yip. Just keep concentrate. Every morning, concentrate really hard on growing that Lethal Frag style beard, and one day it will happen. It probably won't, but I love this idea of you concentrating in the mirror really hard and trying to... This is one thing, I have absolutely no benefits to my appearance whatsoever, but I can grow a pretty nice beard. But yeah, anyways, like, I know I'm kind of rambling on this point, but it's, just to me, like, in the light of hearing how this is a topic that is of interest to practicing economists, and actually finally getting a chance to see how a social network like this works, and again, through a mutual love of gaming or any of these other elements, and just to see how the interactions build off of something like that, to me is really interesting and just very timely based on that conversation that I had with the guy. So there are beard implants want to donate. Yeah, don't worry, Endors, I'm okay. I just need this last 3%, so I'm pretty sure taking this territory will be enough. Thank you for watching out for me, though, because I'm almost certain I'm going to wind up screwing this up. Okay, it's a daughter, so we always do the political thing here, so... Trust Duke of Galloway. Teach my daughter. People are going to be pretty mad at me because of the vassal levies, too, but I don't care because I'll get a duchy out of it. Bad idea, Panda. I've seen you in a... Like, okay, so maybe it's not a beard, but you have facial hair. I guess so does Yep, but... Alright. We defeated those heretics with the curvy swords and funny language. Let's distribute some titles. So we've got a city, so we'll build a mayor here. We will turn that mosque into a bishopric. I really wish I could keep that castle. Let's hold off on that for now. New mayor, new bishop. Mayor, bishop, mayor. Just still not sure what to do with these guys. I definitely can't hang on to all of them, so... Oh, Jesus. Okay, you know what? Too complicated. Son? Who the hell am I marrying you off to? You're 11, so... Let's find a good Carling girl to get you married to. Sad part of the genetic structure, people in my family have beards. In Grokoti, the men in my family didn't do well with beards. I mean, this is the terrible... Like, I've had 2 full beards in my life. And, I mean, people were very complimentary about it. It's like, no, we got a rockin' beard and stuff like that. But, like... I don't know, I've never really... Like, I had fun while I had it. I certainly liked the attention, but... I could never really imagine keeping it for that long. I've always kind of felt a little bit... Like, when I finally just shave it, and, like, I have a clean face again, it's such a nice feeling. And I hate shaving, but kind of feel relieved when I get rid of it. Okay, so ideally we'd find an 11-year-old. I think I can probably accept a 12-year-old. Well, actually 8 might... 8 in French. See, the problem is that, like, old guys can basically have babies into, like, forever. I think you stop having babies when you're dead in this game. But women do actually stop bearing children. So... yeah, let's marry him to the... or betroth him to the 8-year-old, so... we can increase the prestige of the house. Just sucks that she's French. Okay, so we will create... oh, cool, another kingdom. So we'll create the Kingdom of Portugal. And we will create... the duchy as well. So this is kind of kicking the can down the road. What I'm going to do here... oh, I'm actually going to wait until the betrothal offer has been accepted. Nope. The only male in your family that can't, but I'm about half Native American and half Irish. Okay, fair enough. I'd shaved my beard for so long due to work and stuff. It was so nice being able to grow it out. What kind of job is Andy Beers? Freaking women, of course they can. Firefighters, yeah. You know, Alexander the Great, strong. I don't know if he ever like decreed that it should be the case, but he definitely strongly recommended that his troops cut their beards because it's easy to grab during battle. My steward can go to hell. I don't need help managing my realm. I'm specifically holding on to these titles for a while, or for a reason. Okay, cool. So I just betrothed my son, which means he's obligated to marry that woman. So what's going to happen here is that I'm going to wind up playing this guy, and so as a result, I'm going to wind up having this problem of too many territories again. But the nice thing about this is it at least gets these territories off my plate. And then ideally I'll have like another son where I'll be able to pass this off to them, but... in this case, pass the duchy off to him. I've got the proper domain size. I still have enough room for a vassal. We'll appoint a new steward. And we'll get him collecting taxes. Alright, let's do a quick review of what we have. So, when we started this game, we were just this county of Westmoreland here. We now own England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland. We took Iceland. Took a quick detour over into the realm of free healthcare and beer and coldness. Viking land. We've got a few holdouts here. I did wind up destroying the Kingdom of Sweden because I couldn't get the succession laws that I wanted in there. Ultimately, what I'm going to be doing is aiming to take over these territories until I have enough of them. If you want to see what the de jure Kingdom of Sweden is, it's basically, well, that. So the idea is just I'm going to slowly sort of work my way up. I might even try and take Denmark as well, but that kind of gives me there's a few different ways that I could be attacked from there, so I wouldn't necessarily mind just hanging on to Sweden and Norge and waiting for another opportunity to expand from there. But basically, I'm going to need to slowly work my way up for that so I can rebuild the Kingdom of Sweden with the laws that I want. The bigger prize right now, because they are heathens and so I can declare war on them just for having a different religion from me, and they're hugely decadent, so their domain income goes down and the morale of domain troops, they have half the morale of what they normally would because of the decadence. Why are they decadent? Well, this guy's got 4 friggin' wives. That's why they're so decadent. They think about the problems of tomorrow. We don't have to deal with them today. Yeah, I'm still streaming. I'm actually just I'm gonna be wrapping up in a little bit. But, Oh man, and his ambition is to lower decadence actually, but not gonna happen. So basically, what's gone on here was we finally kind of gotten a fairly good break in our Spain plan. Now the one drawback here is that the Teutonic Order has a pretty heavy control over this area, and going to war with them basically means going to war with fellow Christians. I'm not worried about that from a moral point of view, but as fellow Christians, I always need a valid casus belli. I don't have the Kingdom of Spain. I do have the Kingdom of Portugal, though. So, where is the de jure king? Oh, seriously? So this has actually been... Oh, wait. No, it's maybe just Portugal's small on its own. Okay, fair enough. Well, so much for that. Okay, I've got everything that I need for Portugal. So, I do have a claim on Santiago. I think that'll be the next place where I think she's going to be the next place that I invade. Claim Santiago. That probably won't give me enough of a claim on Galatia, but I've already got my Chancellor working on a claim there. So I'll claim this sliver. I think what I'll probably do is I'll just move from the west coast. Well, no, because that would involve getting another CB. So maybe I'll just take this corner in the top left-hand corner, take the west coast, and then just start slowly moving in up to these mountains. That then gives me the option of going south into Africa. Again, all of these are Muslim-held territories, so I'm going to be able to declare war on them just because they have a different religion from me. Need to be a pagan next run. They've got this stuff figured out. Closest game you've played to this is Total War Shogun. I actually haven't played that many Total War games. They seem good though. So I will tell you, I actually have an ambition for this this game though now. So the plan right now is to take Spain just because it's strategically valuable. Now I'm a little under-militarized right now. I've currently got 23,000 troops. I think my capacity is something like 35,000. Looks like 29 according to these numbers, but... Oh, that's right, because I gave up some territories, but... My goal is to take a fairly large amount of territory, and as you can see, there's the Abbasid Empire. Right now they've got 68,000 troops, but I believe their capacity is 99,000 troops. And I want Armageddon to happen. In fact, hell, let's make this as epic as we possibly can. I want to see 100,000 Christian troops, 100,000 Muslim troops fighting in Jerusalem to finally decide what religion is right. That is going to be the end of this playthrough. Before we reach the 15th century, we are going to have a war to finally decide this. The world is going to be in flames, and it's going to be amazing. We are going to have the soul of Grandpa come back to fight that battle. But we do have about 200 years before that's going to happen, so... Basically, we've got a fairly good treasury. I want to finish up the wars that I have here. Next game is going to be focusing a little bit on building infrastructure again. I'll probably take some of this money. I think the first thing I need to do is build some buildings, just so I can generate more income. I'm at 24 a month, which I really should be getting more at this point. And then once I build up some infrastructure, I'm going to rebuild my retinue. I can have about another 9,000 troops. My laws are generally where I want them to be. I just want to make sure Portugal has... Yeah, Portugal has basically everything I have. And so the combination of goals that we're going to be having is at least taking as much of Spain as we can from people who have a different religion from us, see if we can make some progress into Sweden, and... I think once we sort of clear out all the low-hanging fruit, then we'll make a move on the Teutonic Order. But that'll probably be a couple of playthroughs that I need to do. Got an ambition for you in this game, too. It's for you to own the whole freaking world. Where's my capital? It's first county I ever had, Westmoreland. Alright. Just bear with me one more second here. We'll wrap this up in style. I know this is really more opening music, but I forgot to play this at the beginning of the broadcast, so... My capital sucks? It's Westmoreland. We're not moving from our original homeland. Sorry guys, I spoiled the surprise. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to do. I know Monday had some technical difficulties that made the cast a little bit harder to do. But I was really looking forward to doing Crusader Kings tonight, and you guys did a wonderful job of keeping me company, making me feel very welcome, giving us a lot of stuff to talk about. It was awesome to get a chance to talk about what was happening with Nintendo, what that meant for its share price. I have been, I'm very happy to take a look at where the followers are at. We went past 100. We're now, I believe we're about over 120 now. We had a lot of followers today. So everybody who is new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by, making it a great cast, and, giving me more to think about, more to talk about. Another thing that's been happening on this stream, which I am very grateful for, and I'm still getting used to, was it's one thing to get one donation that got us Sunless Sea. Another donation today. I get a tremendous amount of value in having people to interact with in chat, and that is all that I ever really hope for. The fact that you guys are now putting some financial support behind the stream is very humbling to me, and I want to thank you all for that. It's something I'm working on, finding the best ways to be a good steward for that money and to put it into improving the stream. Usually that involves getting games that I think people might enjoy. If you guys have recommendations along those lines, please let me know. I always, as always, I kind of hold the veto right in terms of the kinds of games that get played on stream. But I am interested in knowing what you guys are interested in seeing. I'd be interested in knowing, what parts you like in terms of the stream, what things you think could be improved on. So always feel free to send me, just send me a message through Twitch Messenger, send it to me on Twitter. If there's a game that you want to see, if there's something that you'd like to see done differently, I definitely like some feedback along those lines. But that is the Game of Thrones music, yes. You lucky I haven't unfollowed yet. Game of Thrones music is nice. It's a really good theme. But that is it for me for tonight. I did want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody, because, again, the number of followers is growing, the number of people who are in chat is growing, and that is fantastic. I am glad that you guys are having fun. I am having a ton of fun with it as well. What I am going to do to close out the night is I am going to send you off to another local streamer. His name is WShand. I believe he is doing kind of a giveaway thing right now called Count the Deaths. So I think he gives away a game each time he dies in this game. Let me just make sure that he's still streaming. But WShand, in addition to being really fun to hang around with, I got a chance to see him at EXP Bar in Vancouver. He puts on a remarkably entertaining stream. It's just one of these, he's one of those guys who does a very good job of sort of making a party atmosphere no matter what he's doing. So I really hope he is still streaming. So I'm going to send you good people. Oh, he just wrapped up. Damn it! Okay. Who else do we have to host then? See if I can get somebody in a similar theme. Oh, that's right. He drinks every time he dies as well. Oh, my phone just died. I think Alaskan Savage is normally streaming at this time. Yeah, Alaskan Savage is going on here. So I found there's this really interesting trait about a lot of Twitch streamers, which is I've now seen two really good streamers who are chefs as well. So he is a chef as well as a streamer. Alaskan Savage, based in my time zone, which makes it good to watch with him. Don't yell at you? What? At some point, you might want to consider getting a computer that can actually play the game. Oh, I get it now. Oh, nice. Well, you know what? I love watching Hotline Miami. So let's all... Again, if you guys can hang out for a minute, give Alaskan Savage a chance if you haven't seen him. He's a really great guy. Also somebody who I always hear a lot of comments about how nice his voice is. So I think if that's the reason why you're coming to this channel, I think Alaskan should probably take you through the rest of the evening and maybe put you to bed. And if it's not the voice that you're going for, Hotline Miami has an absolutely fantastic soundtrack. So, thank you everybody for stopping by. That is all for me tonight. Sorry for such an extended outro. Thank you for the host, Yip. Hope all of you have a great evening. We will be back to do this again for sure on Monday. I am definitely going to try and do a weekend stream though, because I had a lot of fun tonight. Have a good one, guys.